What's up, everybody? Welcome to the newest installment of the Minorities Report. I am your head minority in charge, the spectacular Gus. I just added that one. And, of course, with me, as always, is my biracial consigliere, Jay Shell.
How's it going, everybody?
So, and we also have a special guest with us today. It is Mr. Ed himself from Ed's Edibles. I just called him Mr.
No, it's
Ed.
Edible Ed.
You just called him a horse.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not Ed's Edibles, it's Edible Ed.
That's a whole different genre of
right.
people
So
that I haven't haven't tapped yet.
I'm
working on that
he
one.
means pot.
Oh, well, I just like this choice of words. Tap them yet? Oh,
haven't
snap!
tapped them yet. No.
He means marijuana.
Okay.
Those marijuana cigarettes.
Are you
one of those?
Tobacco.
Are you one of those reefers?
The devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
Wow, white people had a lot of funny terms for pot.
They used to call people reefers.
Reefers.
Are you one of those reefers?
Well, like some type of zombie.
Oh no, they got a lot of. They got wacky tobacco and the devil's lettuce. Yeah.
Ironically, that probably inspired a couple brand names, just out of irony's sake.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh no, of course they did.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you, Jay? How's your week?
So far so good, man. What was it? So I know that we're gonna be talking about Halloween parties and such and everything. So one of my costume items is going to come in today, actually. Yeah, going to go as... have you guys seen Bullet Train yet?
Yes.
Yeah, White Death.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Shannon's character. So,
oh, wow.
So basically I had everything, just needed the mask. And so found one on Etsy and everything.
White Death.
The White Death, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they named cocaine too, right?
Mm-hmm.
The White Death.
The White Death. It's from the same people that called the reefers.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
The wacky tobacco.
Yeah. But no, well, I was going to order because he wears as you know, a Japanese style robe and everything. Mm-hmm. And they had a link on it on Amazon. And the cheapest one is $70.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to pay $70
for
just
one
something
day.
For one day. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go as his flashback. So basically just the Reservoir Dog style suit with the blood on it and everything. However, the mask was needed. So
you said they call him the White Death?
The White Death, yeah.
That's funny because it shows here that there used to be also the name of a sniper in let me see here. Yeah, it's a Finnish sniper. They used to call him the White Death.
I think
Simo Haya.
I think he was named in reference to that.
Some Finnish,
yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, but no, I'm surprised you haven't watched Bullet Train yet because that's actually right up your alley. So
yeah. No, I haven't really because my girlfriend we've been watching what she wants to right now. So
that's very nice of you.
We finished watching up. We finished watching up Riverdale the last season.
Mm-hmm. I heard it went off the rails big time.
The sixth season fucking sucked. It was horrible. They got into whole sci-fi superhero powers, the end of the world apocalypse thing, and it's you're Archie,
right?
Chill out.
That's Sabrina's turf,
right?
What do you think? I think.
Oh no, they had a crossover. She was Sabrina. Was
that's why they did the whole
they're in the same universe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I still think they should have had Punisher join up and everything. John Berthenau because of that infamous Punisher versus Archie comic.
But they did kind of make up for it in the last season. Mm-hmm. They kind of made up for it because it goes back where they were stuck in the 50s. None of them remember that they're from present day except for Jughead.
Right.
And it actually made up for it. And it goes meta. It goes full meta because Jughead works for the comic company that actually created Archie.
Right.
In the show. And it delves into the whole, remember the 1950s, the Red Scare, and people pointing out
McCarthyism,
and then with the comic books, they were saying that they were perverting the youth with the horror comics, and that dude went on a crusade against it, even wrote a book of it about it, and that's why they came up with the Comic Book Code Authority.
Right.
Yeah, they go all into that.
It's always a panic. The reason why there's a rating system is because people a number of people were bitching, the PMRC, the gaming rating system and everything.
Yep.
So
and don't forget the 80s with what's his face's wife.
Yeah, that's the PMRC.
Oh, okay, PMRC.
Yeah. With Tipper Gore.
Gore, that was it.
You had the most random team of folks opposing the rating. You had D. Snyder. You had Frank Zappa and John Denver.
Dude, I loved it. I loved it what D. Snyder used to tell them in Congress. He's like, "Are you fucking people stupid?"
Right.
It was like, no, but it was. And that we've been watching. Of course, it's the season, so we've been watching horror movies, and there have been a couple of really fucking good ones that we've watched that have been. I think we spoke about it a little bit on the last one. A couple of ones that we watched, like Fresh. You know, that one was pretty fucking good. So
I started not binge watching horror movies, but actually started like playing like horror themed games and everything. Like so, I get back into playing the Castlevania series because I downloaded a couple of the collections and everything. So started playing Dracula X, which is what inspired or one of the inspirations of the current Castlevania season, Nocturne, because it's Richter Belmont. Sympathy of the Night. Which is a dope one. Like it still holds up to this day.
And we've been watching, dude. I haven't met anybody that doesn't like this show. It's the British Bake Off, the Great British Bake Off. Dude, if you like that show's just good.
Seriously, it's torture to watch that because I have to watch my sugar intake. So seeing all of those really sweets and everything.
I feel like Homer Simpson watching.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Ed over here, Edible Ed.
Yep.
Edible Ed. See, but that kind of means like you're edible.
Well, that's a good drag name right there, actually.
Yeah, it's Edible Ed because I'm technically edible, but it's not a good idea.
Technically, we all are.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
but it's more phonetic.
You're edible on your mother's side.
Yes, exactly.
Whoa.
Well, it sounds like a background. Yeah.
But speaking of that, it's like we have you here too to promote a little bit your cross. Shameless cross promotion. You have a YouTube channel. Synergy. You have a YouTube channel where you show people how to cook and make wonderful things, don't you?
Yeah. So I make really fun food, really simply, just really basic ingredients that anybody can kind of make with limited things in their house.
I do love.
I'm not a big fan of pumpkin
You said
spice.
basic. That's why.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I do love
not
the
that basic.
I do love like the element. Right. I do like the elementary approach you do with cooking and everything because a lot of folks like they want to cook but they're intimidated because they think it's like very complex and everything.
He takes the KISS method.
But you always like say like always start out small and then build your way up.
And it's all about like laying a foundation. So if you're able to understand like the very basics of how things work, then you build upon it. Because I'm all about like I'm dyslexic, so like writing recipes is like the hardest thing for me to do. Or just like measuring is really difficult for me.
Yeah.
So like I after all the years of kind of doing what I do, like I kind of feel for it, and I encourage people. It's like, okay, I understand like people that just start out like need that recipe.
Right.
I'm all for that, but I'm like once you get a grasp of that, then I encourage you to kind of like you kind of change it to fit you and your family's needs, right?
See, but that's also your background too, because being from the Caribbean and being from the Caribbean myself, my mom, aunts, grandmother, they didn't know measuring.
Right.
It's like, how much of that do you put in? This much? I don't know.
Exactly.
Honestly, you just feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
You just and also like going by measurements, I already feel like was like restrictive. And everything. Yeah. So you just
like I'm all about like the creativity of it. So like. I mean, I could bake, right? Like you talked about the great, British Bake Off.
Yeah.
Like that show would be very difficult for me to watch, not because of the food, like, what they make. Because, I could probably make something similar, right? Maybe not as pretty, but I could, do that. It's hard for me to have to like watch like someone, kind of like go by a recipe because baking is 100% a science.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely
and like cooking is an art.
Because down to the molecular level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
too
I'm like,
much
I can't
sugar
do
one
that
way
shit.
or too much flour the other way, you ruin everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. So like I try to like focus more on
savory.
Like I like honestly like my chocolate chip cookies are like hands down the best cookies I've ever had in my life, and I've had a lot, and I'm constantly making it better. Right? Like, so the other day I made it, and instead of just using like room temperature butter, like to cream the sugar together, I brown buttered it. So like I just kind of like let it go really slow on the stove. So you made
brown butter chocolate chip cookies. Man, it sounds tasty.
And it just, that one extra step, right? That doesn't like take that much longer to do. Like takes it to a whole nother level.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's experimenting, because baking and cooking is all about experimenting.
Right.
You know, the people didn't know that you can eat something that shot out of a chicken's backside until somebody tried it.
Right.
So it was an experiment.
Right.
That's what I always try to. I always tell people, I was like, you ever been curious about what was it? Because while you're making eggs, I was like, the first dude that looked at a chicken's vagina and went, I'm going to eat the next thing that comes out of that. It's technically chicken periods.
Right.
And
Seriously.
and I do like the fact that you said that cooking is an art, because the way you describe like your method and everything reminded me of like drawing for the first time. We always like are like told by professors like learn life drawing and everything, and then once we get the basic anatomy down and all that, then that's when we start to do our own style of art and everything.
Totally.
Yeah,
So that's how I feel.
Walter White showed us that cooking is an art.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Get it?
And it's really fun.
Speaking of which, I remember you brought me like
Speaking of
meth.
which, I brought you meth.
Candy meth.
Bro, explain that shit. In New Mexico, I went to Albuquerque, and they're all about Breaking Bad out there.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, and so there's a candy lady. Literally, her store's called the Candy Lady, and she makes rock candy. And it looks like blue sky or sky blue, whatever the hell it was called. Yeah, and I brought some back, and I'm like, dude, I hope I don't get pulled over by the cop.
Just taste it, officer.
Yeah,
Taste it. It's sugar.
Tell an officer to taste something that looks like meth.
I mean, come on.
They would.
They'd be like, I'm confiscating this,
being
quote
a
unquote.
being a person of color, that is the last thing I want to do. But,
Oh, no,
but when Jay had brought something about family, but you also do this with your daughter, right?
Yeah,
host
so
the
like,
show
you
with
know,
her?
everything is family friendly on my show. But definitely like
we're not here, so
I know. And that's the funny thing is because people like, you know, I'm 6'7", I'm tattooed, I have my ears pierced.
7 foot the afro. A little Fletch reference.
So I mean, like, I don't look like I'm friendly, and I run into that problem a lot. But you know, like, our show is just about having fun, and it's all about making the kitchen less intimidating. And I'm like, if like I could, you know, teach like little kids, which I do, I teach.
Yeah, you do
cooking
that
classes.
full time, right?
Yeah, at the Children's Museum of Phoenix. I'm like, if I could teach little kids how to cook, like I could teach anybody how to cook, and it's like, you know, my show, like, you know, it's just about having fun. So we're silly. You know, I do a lot of really, you know, funny edits to my to the videos, and I put out videos every Friday. So we have a good time, and on my Instagram, we have fun too.
I'm all about food because, like, I just went to Vegas.
Yeah.
And dude, you saw the pictures I posted.
I did.
So I sent you a couple of them.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to taste food like from different places. There was a place that made a breakfast sandwich in between two donuts. I was like, normally I wouldn't eat that. However,
yeah, dude. While in
here,
Rome,
so
dude.
I'm gonna try it.
Why not, man?
I
You
mean,
only
I always
live
wanted
once,
to try
dude.
a Luther burger.
Oh, I've had one. They actually sell them at the state fair.
You don't know?
Actually,
you never heard of a Luther burger?
No.
Luther burger is a double bacon cheeseburger with everything between two Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
And there's
okay.
actually a story behind that urban legend. So Luther Vandross, he was on tour, and they make a stop at a diner at like late at night and everything, and he's in the mood for a cheeseburger. They had no bread left over, no buns, no like sandwich bread and everything, and they're like, the only bread we have are these donuts. And he says, cook them up.
And Luther said, I don't need my right foot.
Yeah.
Make me that burger.
Oh, Luther. Wow.
May he rest in peace.
Okay.
And
I didn't know it was
And
his.
then I tried a place. I'm from New York, so I'm a bagel snob.
Yeah.
I'm a deli snob. I went to this place called Bagelicious. Shout out to Bagelicious, not a sponsor.
Not yet.
Not yet. And bro, some of the best bagels I've had since I lived out here. They're true, genuine New York style Jewish deli. Bro.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, they make their own pickles in house.
That's how it should be.
They make their own pastrami, their own
Corned beef.
Corned beef.
That's what's up.
Yeah, dude, they had potato knishes the size of your fist. They were so good. Like,
Why don't you bring some for us, man? You're talking about all this
they would've
food. You
never
guys
made
didn't
it.
bring any
They would have
food.
never made it. They would have never made it.
Dude, I remember.
We bought there's this donut place out there also called Pink Box Donuts. Oh my fucking god! Dude. Oh dude, they had a cronut. Have you ever had a cronut?
Yes, I have.
Cronuts are the shit.
They're so good, dude. Two of the
Oh my
best things on the planet.
So I remember, what was
So
it?
good.
Like last summer, my girlfriend and I, we went to New York for the first time, and everything, and we told each other like, yeah, we're gonna go on a foodie quest. We're gonna try the best and everything. We went to Original Ray's. We went to the one in Manhattan.
There's a lot of them.
What you call it? I'm trying to remember which. I'm trying to remember the cross streets and everything.
There's Original Ray's on 6th Avenue.
I think
6th Street and Broadway. There's Famous Ray's, there's Original Ray's in Midtown, Uptown.
Actually, I think it's the Midtown one we went to. Yeah.
If you were near Times Square, that's Midtown.
That's the one. Yeah. And it was dope. It was really cool. Well, honestly, like I made it a mission to like get, try out like some authentic New York pizza.
The best thing about New York pizza is the crust. Like not the crust, the underneath.
Yeah.
Because when you bend it,
Yeah.
it's crisp, so it goes crack.
And then you have to fold it like a taco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it cracks.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like a
out
cracker.
here, a pizza, you fold it and it goes.
It's too sloppy.
What was it? So like our first morning in New York, we wanted to go to a diner, like and everything, have like our first breakfast there, and we went to a place I think it was called like a Jackson Diner or like on Jackson Avenue because we were staying in Queens, and the food there was just amazing, and like it was just like. It felt like a breakfast like from your mother's house, and everything.
The greasy spoon diners in New York are the shit.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
But our waitress, really sweet woman, I think her name was Rosa, but she looked like Rita Moreno. Like I had to do a double take. I was like, oh shit, she like doing a side hustle here? 'Cause that's dope.
And almost every true diner in New York is owned by a Greek family.
Yeah.
And usually the dad is named Costas.
Yeah.
Almost all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Seriously.
reminded of a big fat Greek wedding, like Nicky, Nikolai, Nikolai.
But the area of New York he was staying in, which is Jackson Heights in Queens, if you want to go into a food coma, go there. You will have everything from African to Honduran, Guatemalan, El Salvadorian, Mexican, Argentine, and everything in between. You can literally go to all of Latin America to eat without leaving Queens. It's incredible.
It's magical.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Yep.
But anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick break. I want to talk to Ed a little bit more when he promote his channel, and then we're going to go ahead and get into our topic for today. We're going to keep it Halloweeny. You said weenie.
Weenie.
No, you.
And we're back. Thank you guys for continuing to hang out with us. As we were talking to Edible Ed, so what's the name of your YouTube channel? Let's get it out there because we totally forgot when we started talking.
It's Edible Eds, 'S. And then on Instagram, it's edible.ed.cooks. And I'm always putting real fun stuff. Cooks.
Because earlier you had talked about being intimidated by cooking. Yeah. I always dabbled like making my own shit and all that. But then the first time we went to your house and hung out, you had a sous vide. I'm like,
yes.
He goes, oh, this is a sous vide. I'm like,
yes.
Oh, yeah, we all have one.
Yes, everyone should.
It's like a toaster.
Everyone should.
So explain to everybody what a sous vide is.
So a sous vide is basically like you're cooking something in a water bath, but it's a controlled environment. So you heat the water to a precise temperature, and it never goes over that temperature. For example, like if you want to cook like a medium rare steak, that internal temperature needs to be about 124. So the water heats to 124, never goes above it.
Right.
So you cook the steak perfectly on the inside. The only problem is there's no external heat source.
Right.
So it comes out like really gray and like an alien,
Oh,
right?
boy.
So then all you got to do is just sear it.
Right.
And it's perfectly cooked, and it's just the easiest way, like foolproof way of cooking. So like now, like if I want to make like pulled pork, for example, right? I have a smoker. I don't sit there like all day stoking my fire, like, cooking that shoulder. I sous vide it first, like maybe 3/4 of the way.
Right.
And then I pull it and I put it in the smoker to get that smoke ring and get that flavor. But then you get just the most unctuous, most tender, like you can't mess it up.
Yeah.
Like you have to actively try.
Yeah. So
Like you really have to try, and even then, like you can't mess it up.
this is where the science part of cooking comes in.
Yeah.
Because when you showed us this and everything, my first thought was like, oh, it's basically a spa for your food.
Yes,
if you think
exactly.
about it.
Yep.
But then, like when you're telling us about like the timing and like the temperature and everything, I look at it as like you're basically doing science.
Yeah.
You're like trying to like make sure that everything is on point. Because I assume like one false move, like one like minute over,
No.
everything
No,
goes to
that's
shit.
what he's saying.
That's
It's
the thing. Like it's
foolproof.
foolproof, and
Really?
it's like
It's idiot-proof, yeah.
It's cooking science. Like that's a great way of putting it, because it really is, right? And like I started this whole thing saying like I'm not like really good at that stuff, and I'm not, right? But like there's so many like technology now, like with the one that I have, like there's a visual doneness on your phone,
Right.
and it shows you multiple temperatures. and it'll show you the texture and it'll show you what it will look like before you even do it. So say like you want, like say I'm doing the pulled pork, right? And I want like really, really soft like meat, like no resistance, right? Like it'll show you what that looks like and what temperature that needs to be. So like you don't even have to just like experiment. There's no experimenting now. Like
it sounds like it though.
I know
what
really.
you're getting.
Yeah.
But with all like the measurements and everything and whatnot.
But then that's why, like for example, like with this, it's called Jewel by Breville, right? So like these really nerdy guys up in Seattle that created this, and they kind of continue the database growing, right? Where like they'll put up these brand new recipes, and you could kind of like sub what you want or don't want. Like they have a pulled pork recipe, right? But like I don't use their recipe. I only use the guide for putting it into the app.
Gotcha. Yeah,
and you kind of just make it your own. And like they give you like a pretty sizable window. Like for example, say you put this in before you go to work, kind of like the modern day crock pot, right? Like everyone used to fill their crock pot, turn it on before they left for work.
A lot of people still
some
do.
people do, right? But like this is the modern day version of that, where you put it in there and they give you like, you have like several hours where you could still leave it in that water bath and nothing will happen to it. But of course, if you leave it in there
too
past
long,
that window, it's just going to turn into like gel.
That
right?
was Alton Brown had a great show about the science of
good
food.
eats, man.
Yeah,
God, I love
his
that show.
His show, when he talks about the science of it, he explains a lot of that, even down to the molecular level. Yeah, that dude is half scientist, half chef.
Oh, dude.
So,
Totally.
what got you into it? Like, were you already into cooking, or?
Well, so I used to, when I was little, I have an older brother,
right?
And we used to fight all the time. My brother is he's an older brother, right? A textbook, right? Yeah. So my dad would be working, and my mom would come home for work, and she would have to take care of us.
Wait, is your brother as big as you?
He's bigger than average, but not as big as me.
Oh, okay. Because it's harder to pick on you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I was like 4.
Oh, when you were a little kid.
I was like 4.
Yeah.
So my mom would put me up on the counter to keep us away. And
to keep you separated.
Yeah, to keep us separated because it was
go to your corners.
Seriously, really.
I mean, that's
what you had to do, right?
Yeah.
So, I didn't grow up with an older brother, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's how we had to do. So then I would watch her because I had nothing else to do.
Right.
And then I would start asking her, like, instead of like having that be as a punishment to be in the kitchen, it was by choice. So I would go in there and be like, Mom, why are you doing this? Mom, why do you do that? Right. So I watched her. So she's my first chef, 100%.
See, a lot of chefs I've seen and hear stories from, they have similar stories about that. Not the whole brother thing, but because they spent so much time in the kitchen. Because being from the Caribbean, the kitchen is like the heart of the house where a lot of the family gathers.
Right.
So you spend a lot of time in there, and so you said you spent a lot of time with your mom in there. So hence to say that you would pick that up. So
and that's where a lot of core memories are unlocked. Basically, like if you smell some aroma from a restaurant, that's gonna take you immediately to the time when you're like this age on this day. My mom was making this, or my dad was making that, and everything. It's like Ratatouille.
Exactly.
Remember when the food critic tasted that one dish and he immediately had like a flashback to his childhood.
So you were saying, you would spend time with your mom.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you remember her teaching you how to make?
Guyanese curry.
Oh yeah.
So it's very different from like Indian curry or Japanese curry. It's just the spices are different, and Guyanese mom has their recipe for the masala, like the base for the curry, and my mom is no exception. So that was like the first thing I remember.
And from being from New York, I've met a lot of Guyanese. Like I said, the girl I dated was from Guyana, but she was Hindu. So your family's not, because what people don't understand in Guyana, it's really diverse as far as like there's black Guyanese, and then there's
Chinese.
There's but the two largest populations I've met there are black and Indian.
Right.
And so your family is more on the Indian side though, but they're not Hindu, right?
No. So like the cool thing about Guyana that like I don't really see in a lot of other like countries and cultures is there's a lot of like Catholics, there's a lot of Muslims, there's a lot of like Hindus, but everyone celebrates each other's celebrations.
So it's a true melting pot.
Really is,
but unlike other places that I won't name,
it's a crock pot.
They celebrate. They celebrate each other. They celebrate each other as opposed to like putting each other down.
Right, and there are like currently there's conflicts between like the Indians and the blacks.
Oh, for sure.
Right, like very very bad, but like. you still have people like my family, like we're not Hindu, but we celebrate Diwali like in Guyana. Everyone takes a day off and parties, right?
Oh, I've celebrated Diwali myself.
Yeah, you know very well.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Everyone celebrates Christmas.
One of my favorite Hindu festivals. Yeah, because like I said, I lived with a Hindu family for a while, and they still celebrated Christmas. One of my favorite Hindu celebrations, I can't remember the name of it, is it's like a color festival.
Yeah.
And they slap each other with like colored powder.
Holy.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And they go out in the street and they're dancing and singing and hitting each other with these colors, and it's a lot of fun.
Have a good time, dude.
Everybody dresses in white, so that way
You get all
the
messed
color
up.
shows up.
Yeah,
more.
you squirt each other with water so that like it kind of like
Sticks
stains
to you.
you.
That's what's up.
Totally,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
It's so
But-
cool.
Like I said, and so I've kind of felt that because I lived in a part of Queens that was called Little Guyana. So, but first time, and again, this was how you open yourself to learning. People I ever met from Guyana were Indian. You know, not necessarily Hindu, but they were Indian. Because your family's heritage, is it Indian or?
I have East Indian and I have Portuguese and I'm black.
Okay,
Yeah.
so. Everybody I met was kind of like East Indian, but then I met this dude. He was black, and there was no confusing it. And he goes, "Oh, I'm from Guyana." I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
You kind of like
Doesn't
your brain
compute.
doesn't work really well right there at the moment. It was
Right.
kind of like the first time I met a Chinese Cuban.
Yeah.
So he explained to me. He goes, "Yeah, his brother was actually a professional soccer player in Portugal." So, but anyway, yeah, it's like first time I met somebody that was Chinese and they started speaking Spanish. They're like, "Oh, I'm Cuban." I'm like, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
Is your brain
Messes with your brain.
Well,
for
it's the
sure.
first time, and you've probably experienced this. You say that in Guyana they have Chinese. I was dating this girl, and her father was Jamaican Chinese. And the first time you see somebody that looks Chinese. In everything, and all of a sudden they go, "Boy, let me talk to you." He goes, "You don't
For
know
real.
what fado." I'm like, "Huh?"
Dude, one of the biggest like Caribbean like soca singers is from Jamaica. His name is Byron Lee.
Yeah.
He's
I heard.
a
Byron
Chinese
Lee?
dude.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
And like when I realized that, I was like, wait a second, because like if you ever see any of his album covers,
Yeah.
like it's just like scantily clad women because it's the Caribbean, right?
You
Like
never
that's
see-
how we roll.
Yeah, you never really see.
You
him.
never see him, but
Yeah.
like we saw him in concert, and I'm looking for like a black dude, right? Because
Yeah.
like, he's Jamaican,
Right.
And then I see this like older like Chinese guy come out, and I'm like, and then
What is
like you
going
hear,
on right
like
now?
dude, it messes
Soul
with you. for
knows
sure.
no color.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like the first time you saw Matis Yahoo.
Yeah, dude.
Or
Oh
the
my
first time
god.
you saw, or the first time you saw Rick Astley.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
redhead, yeah, for sure.
Or the
Is,
first
is
time,
Luther behind him?
or the first time people saw Adele, they were like, "Wait, what? Where's the sister at?"
For real.
Yeah, first time I heard Adele, I was like, "There's a fire." I'm like, "Go ahead, girl." Then you see it and you're like, "Huh?" Pasty British white girl says what?
For real.
Oh, I got another good one. Taylor Dane.
Oh my god.
Like
yeah.
I wait.
See, but I still don't think
white
Taylor
lady.
Dane's white. She's one of those, you know.
But no, but like when you first hear her, you're thinking
Yeah.
you're expecting Whitney, you're expecting Jodie
your
Watley,
brain goes
Yeah.
up like,
and it's
for
like,
sure.
who's this white woman and
Yeah.
where's Whitney?
For real.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, you can go back to Tina Marie too.
Oh, the Ivory Queen.
Yeah, Tina Marie.
Square Biz. That Square Biz is still my jam.
Taylor. Oh, do you say Taylor Dane? Yeah,
Taylor Dane. Yeah,
Taylor Dane,
Heart.
It's a trip.
Yeah, it was
really
crazy.
is a trip.
Well, but anyway, going back to you. So
Yeah.
your channel is Edible Eds.
Yes.
Apostrophe S.
Apostrophe
But you
S.
said you have a channel for your daughter too, right?
Well, she's
she
my
does it with
official
you?
taste
Right,
taste
right.
tester, right? So
okay.
like, you know, and she's very brutally honest, right? And
That's
like,
what's best. That's what's
'cause
best
she's a
about it.
kid.
Yeah.
It's because she's a kid. It's 'cause they
Right.
have no filter. They
and
haven't
that,
built the
I mean,
filter up
she
yet.
has a little bit of a filter, but like when it comes to the food, like she's very
Yeah.
descriptive.
No, but that's what I mean. As far as
Yeah.
kids go, like with food, they don't have a filter.
No, and like
To,
she's like to be able to identify, like she could tell the things I put in,
Yeah.
like what I cook.
Well,
Like
that's
she's
that
like,
palate,
oh
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like she knows. So it's really cool.
Well, she's always had an old soul too.
Yeah,
you know, because
totally.
like I remember, like, because we would see her at your house, of course, but also like when she would come to our events
Better
with you
not
and
see her
everything.
without him, man.
Right?
Weirdo.
Wait, what? All right.
Ed heard me.
So anyway,
Dude, I'm not used to this not family friendly stuff, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I have to like flip a switch in my brain.
Yeah,
Right.
To
Trust
get
me.
back
oh,
up
see,
to-
there's your problem. You set the evil. But no, but it's like no, it's like well, because like a conversation with her, it's like talking to a grown up,
Yeah.
and everything. And honestly, I think she gets it from you and your wife because you guys are always like descriptive, or you're always like straightforward and everything. So yep, chip off both blocks.
Well,
so
the thing,
you.
the
I
thing
appreciate
is,
that.
your
Thank
channel,
you.
your children speak at the level that you speak to them.
Exactly.
So people who baby talk and
Right.
and talk down to their kids, that's what they're going to be at the level they're going to do. But
Yes.
you talk to your kids, have a conversation like they're a human being because they are.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. You know, that's why my kids can hold a conversation. Even, well, they're adults now, but they could still hold their own.
And swear a storm.
Yeah. well, I mean, okay. In my defense, I never swore in front of my kids when they were growing up. That was their mother. So, and also their aunts, my sisters. I totally put the blame on them because my sister can use fuck as an adjective, verb, pronoun, noun. She's a typical New Yorker. She goes, "What the fuck with this fucking fuck? I don't fucking understand this motherfucker." I'm like, "Whoa!" It's like, can you use another word?
Yeah.
So she'll
goes,
never
"Fine,
be on.
ass."
something else.
So she'll never be on network syndications.
Oh, hell no. Bro, it's like why they don't show Scarface on TV.
Right.
He's like, the movie
like
lasts
2
all of
seconds
5
of it.
minutes.
Just imagine your sister being censored. What is this forgetting, monkey fellow?
Front door.
He goes, yeah. What is this forgetting front door, forgetting front door? I was like, what? Oh, man.
That's too funny.
It's funny man, when they go, they put in forgetting for yeah.
No, it's
So
too
anyway.
funny.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to talk about today was, we're just coming off of Halloween.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about some other stuff that's in the news right now, but it's too depressing with the stuff in Israel and all that. But shout out to them. I hope everything gets peaceful there. There was so much horrible things in there, but I really don't want to get into it. Probably in the next show because we're having a good time right now. But we wanted to talk about Halloween still. So Ed, we wanted to share like favorite Halloween spooky stories and stuff like that and party stories. You were telling me before J Shell got here that you have a story that you wanted to.
Oh, dude, how much time you have? I have lots.
Oh wow,
Dude, I have so many. I could write a book.
But tell me the one you were telling me about like some of the shit that's happened to you.
Okay, so I personally feel like me and my family were cursed. Like someone put a hex on us.
Really?
So like ever since I was like a kid, I could see things, and I don't talk about it much because I don't want to get like sent to like a mental institution.
Right.
But like
I mean,
see
this is something on
things.
the level when you were explaining to me, something like on the level of Insidious.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like my life
Jesus.
is Insidious before like that movie was ever a thing.
Right.
So like there's these things that kind of like I see, and the more I see them, like the more vividly I see them, like something bad is going to happen. Right. So like there's this one that this is the very first one that I ever saw and is still kind of follows me around. I call her Abby. I don't know why. There's just something that like that's her name. I don't even know if it's a girl, but she or it is very daintily clad. Like so I draw and I paint what I see. Right. So she's very daintily clad, but she kind of wears like a porcelain mask. So she looks like one of those like old timey dolls, right? With a big red bow in her hair. And you could kind of see through the eye holes that, there's something not right. Right. And as long as I could remember, like I never saw her hands. Like she always had her hands like behind her back.
So kind of some shit like Annabelle. Looking like Annabelle.
Yeah, but there's there's nothing like physical tethered to her, right? Like it was just like this thing. And like anytime I would see her, like something bad was about to happen, right? So recently, I haven't seen her in a while, but recently she's been like coming over more. And now I see her hands. And her hands are like real long, like kind of like nails.
Like Slender Man type.
Yeah, not that long, but long, right? Like longer than a normal hand. And I'm like, that's just weird. But so I see all these things, right? And one of the craziest things that happened recently was, so I saw this face, right? So I said, I'm going to paint this face. And normally when I paint, I'll sketch, right? And then I'll start laying in all the different colors, whatnot. For some reason, and I don't do well with this, right? Because I don't know if it's because of my dyslexia or what it is with my brain. Like I kind of have to have like a plan, right? But like something was telling me like just jump in, right? So I started just like painting, like really like quickly. And like no rhyme or reason, but I saw something. It was almost like I was possessed, right? So I did this face, and the face doesn't have like there's no eyes, right? It's just like the face, and I take pictures of it and I put it through an editing software that kind of smooths my brush strokes so I kind of look like I know what I'm doing. But that's the only thing I edit.
I mean, art is interpretation.
Exactly, right? So I'm like, okay, I got to look like I know what I'm talking about or doing, right? And when I did that, eyes and pupils showed up.
Oh, wow.
In the picture. And I'm all like, it wasn't there before.
Yikes.
So I'm like, how did that happen? It's clear that you could see eyes and pupils in there.
So it felt like Abby possessed you while you were painting her.
Something.
Dude, that's
something, dude.
That's what I call a priest and burn the picture.
Well, do you know how many times I've done that?
That's what I call a priest and burn the picture, bro.
So we're from Los Angeles, right? And like my sister-in-law heard about this lady that like she'll massage like women that can't have kids or like men, right? And she'll like do something like and allow you to have kids.
Wait, she massages men?
Well, like if like the men, well, she won't massage there, but like
sorry,
not there.
My head went there.
Your head always goes there.
Not there, but she'll massage you.
I got it.
So when my wife would, so she's helped so many people that were infertile like have kids. Like there's like always like a line of people waiting to get into her house to like be massaged.
Right.
And not only that, but like she's Catholic, but she's kind of like a witch doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So she does these things.
I mean, they got that in Catholicism.
Well, Well, it's almost like a miracle worker type of situation.
Yeah. But it's kind of like almost like to me, it's kind of like borderline like Santeria or like voodoo almost, right?
Well,
because like voodoo,
Santero, a lot of this stuff is based in Catholic culture.
I was just gonna say that
because the reason is because in Santorismo, basically it was Western African gods, and they had to disguise them as Catholic deities, so that way they can go ahead and get away with. So they have a very close intertwined relationship between Catholicism and Santeria,
which makes the whole like witchcraft like fear and everything so ironic if you think about it.
Isn't it? So we would go when we found out that my wife was pregnant. We would go and like my daughter would kind of like, as kids do, like they spin around and you need to get them in position and stuff. And this lady would be able to feel my wife's belly and like, okay, I need to move her. And she would be able to do that and stuff. But like every time I would go there, like she would kind of look at me weird. Right. And I'm all like, I don't speak a lot of Spanish and she didn't speak English. So I kind of just like assumed it was like because I don't speak Spanish. Right. And I would tell my wife, I'm like, dude, like, do you think I should tell her about like what I see? And she's like, well, I don't want her to get weirded out or anything.
She might have been what a lot of Latins call they call them a curandera. A curandera is kind of like a healer. They can. It's metaphysical. Like they're on like another plane. And that because I've met a lot of those in my life. My mom used to visit one. You ever heard of something called a botanica? It's kind of like a yerberia where the Mexicans go. A botanica is the same thing where they'll go and bless a candle and do something on it and give it to you, and they tell you burn it. Once you light it, don't turn it off.
Right.
It's basically it's more like Wicca or Wiccan. Wicca, I think it is Wiccan than it is witchcraft. So because it has to do with nature. And,
But I mean, long story short, so my wife told her, and she's like, I know, like I feel it. I see like there's this negativity surrounding him, right? Yeah. So she was like, does he want me to bless him?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. So she goes and gets a dozen eggs.
Right.
And she like lets me feel them and like look at them, and she's like, they're just eggs. Right. She's like, I'm gonna pray over you. So she did, and I have a bad back, so she massaged my back. And the crazy thing was like all she uses is just like baby oil and like lotion, like 99-cent store lotion, nothing fancy. No. But she massaged my back, and like my back like burnt. Wow, like it was hot.
For them, it's about the touch. It's not what they're putting on you. It's their energy they're giving.
Going into
they're passing their energy to you. Yeah.
So she did that, and then she got the eggs, and she kind of like rubbed them like over me, like head to toe. Same thing with my wife and stuff. And then after she would do that, she would put the eggs in like, like a grocery bag. And like she finished everything, and you could see this lady was exhausted,
Right.
like spent, like she was dripping sweat. I mean, the room where we're in was, nice. It was comfortable,
Right.
but she was like just dripping sweat, just tired.
Yeah.
And then she gets the bag, and she's like, "Feel the bag." So I grabbed the bag, and the bag felt like it was 10 pounds, and all it was those eggs that she rubbed on us. And she's like, that sucked up all
bad
of the
energy.
energy. Yeah.
10
and
pounds
she's like,
of negative energy?
seriously, dude. So then
Fuck.
she's like, okay, now I have to go to the backyard and I have to bury it.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to get rid of it.
I'm
And it's
very
the only
familiar.
way.
I'm very familiar with what you're saying.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So she did that. And I mean, it's been years. And like ever since she did that, there was like a good, huge, like a sizable chunk of time where I didn't see these things. And like terribly, like horrible things weren't happening.
Right.
And like it's been a minute.
So you've been cleansed.
I was.
Yeah.
And I think it wore off.
It can.
Because like all kinds of stuff has just been going
can.
wrong.
Yeah.
It
can
goes away after a while.
Yeah, because the evil can come back, and sometimes in greater force. Because there's so much you can contain evil, but you can't.
No, you can't get rid
Eliminate
of it. No, because it's there. So
Much
now,
like insurance.
exactly, in taxes.
Yeah.
And like now, like Abby,
Yeah.
Like Trump.
yeah, like
Continue.
Abby
Yeah.
totally has friends.
Yeah.
Because now I see other things
Oh,
that I didn't see before, and it's like always in the corner of my eye, and like I'm always doing like double takes, and it's like I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, "Dude, how do you not like constantly shit yourself?" And I'm like, "Well." Like it's my choice, right?
Right.
Like I either like am afraid and I don't do anything, or like I continue and do the best that I can with what I have.
That just
And
creeped me the fuck out.
dude, it's nuts, man. So it's hard, but yeah, dude, I have so many
Yeah.
stories, man.
Honestly,
so many.
yeah, hearing the story actually, it don't because I always believed in past lives, reincarnation and all that. And from the sound of it, it almost sounds like you could have been a shaman in a past life. Because with shamanism is like, the access to the spirit world.
Yeah.
Or like, any type of dimension and everything. And so I think you seeing Abby is like your shaman past life, like seeing
Yeah.
this and everything. Because you said that your family, like you may think that your family was cursed in
Yeah,
some way
all
and
of us,
everything.
man. We all have like some bad juju, man.
So that may have like, come over from like a past life and
Yeah.
everything. Like, there's like that term sins of the father and whatnot and everything. So I think, there's that explanation, what have you. But honestly, I think it ties a lot with that. So,
and it's funny because my
The
parents,
father could explain a lot of my fucked up
yeah,
life.
seriously. my parents, ever since I was a kid, and it's funny because you kind of mentioned this with my daughter. Like my parents, ever since I was little, was like, "You've been here before."
Right.
Like there's things that I knew that like were impossible for me to know. And
Right.
mind you, this is like I'm a child of the '80s, right? Like there was no internet and things, so it's like, how did I know the things that I knew?
Yeah.
But I did. And now my daughter's that same way. Like, dude, she's been here before.
Well, a lot of
sure.
Yeah, especially a lot of the people where our families come from believe in that.
Yeah.
Like you've had a past life.
Right.
You've been there. You've been here before. A lot of that's been happens in my family. Like a lot of that shit.
and that will explain like those, deja vu. Like you have a moment where it's like, that's happened before, but then as soon as you realize it, it's never happened before. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my mom used to visit with a lady that was similar to that. Like, there was one time where I used to sleep with an egg in a glass of water underneath my bed, and I had no clue why. And that was because it was to keep the spirits away from hurting me, because I used to have really bad night terrors. And my mother did that, and then sometimes they do that, and then when they crack the egg open, it's black on the inside. And people think that this is bullshit, but I've seen it happen. One of the crazy stories that I wanted to share was I seen, and I was talking to you, Ed, about it before. I was dating this girl. We lived together. It was her family was also from Guyana, but they were Hindi. They were Hindu from Guyana, and we lived together, but we didn't sleep together. Her parents said it was cool that I lived in their house, but we couldn't sleep in the same bed, so I had my own bedroom. Yeah.
And chastity belt.
Well, no. But anyway, so they're like,
It's an everlasting.
not under our roof. Oh, what you don't know. Anyways, so the thing is that her ex-boyfriend, apparently in the Hindu culture, you can put curses on people, and you can send a demon after them. And in the Hindu culture, they have shit like that. And where you can control them. So apparently he put it on her, and he used this dude. There's these guys that do like, it's almost like witchcraft, to sick a demon on somebody. And so he did, because apparently he was mad. Talk about being mad and breaking on somebody. Jesus Christ. He's like, yeah, I'm so mad he goes, I'm not going to burn your house down, but I'm going to sick a demon on you.
Torment you for the rest of eternity.
So one night, I was telling Ed about this before you came in. I was laying in bed and I hear her screaming. So I run up. I throw her door open and I see something fly out the window. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? You know, we all, I thought for a second somebody tried to break in, but it was on the second floor and there was no way down, no fire escape. And they just went out the window. So unless this motherfucker could, you know, jump down and do a superhero landing, he was gone. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And that's when she and her father decided to explain to me. I'm like, oh, y'all tell me this shit after I move in. Oh, okay, cool. Right on. Yeah, curse. Yay. And then fast forward a while later, I was laying in bed again and I hear her screaming again, and I go to get up and I can't get up. Like I have what they call sleep paralysis, where you're being held, it feels like you're being held down, and like you're conscious, but your body doesn't move. And I feel a breath on me, and then when I open my eyes, there's nothing there, and then I'm able to get up, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And there was something on top of me holding me down, and I still get chills to this day. I'm like, so they had to have a spiritual leader come in, bless the house. Her mom used to once a week brush the house out with, in their tradition or in their culture, to sweep out the bad things. They use it's a broom, but it's made from like reeds.
Yeah, pointer broom.
Yeah, so like almost like a witch's broom. Yeah, and she had to brush the whole house with that like once or twice a week to get rid of everything. And she used to have to tap it up on the walls and everything. And it freaked me out, dude. It freaked me out so much. I was like, listen, I don't know if I can. Like, I'm not into because I've seen back when I was a kid, I saw someone who was. And this is why I watch horror movies with a different point of view from some other people, because I saw somebody being exorcised, and it's real. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Right. This person was screaming and yelling, and they were slapping them with a Bible and chanting over them, and you could hear them saying things in a language they didn't speak, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
And I was a little kid, mind you. Puerto Ricans don't, you know how people go, oh, you know, protect your kids from things. Puerto Ricans don't give a fuck. I was so desensitized growing up, it's not even funny.
Right.
You know, somebody get punched in the face next to me, we're like, oh, look at that happened. But anyway, so here I am. I was like maybe 10 years old watching an exorcism, and dude, let me tell you something. One of those horrifying. That shit was haunt me to this day. Yeah. I was telling these guys last week, I have nightmares where break-ins. So like I never really sleep. I sleep, but I don't, because I'm always afraid somebody's going to break in. Because from when I was a kid, right before Christmas, somebody broke into the house. We weren't home, but still, that scarred me. And I didn't even realize that it scarred me until like I was in my 30s. I'm like, that's why. Because there were sometimes even living in an apartment, I would on the second floor, and I would sleep with a baseball bat next, because I never felt safe, and I still don't. I never feel safe. You know, my girlfriend tries to insist the neighborhood that we live in. She goes, "Oh, it's safe. Everyone around us own guns, and we're in the middle of the block. And who's going to decide?" I was like, "Listen." I was like, I don't know who could do what. I don't know why people choose who. You know, but anyway, going back to that, I believe in the spiritual world. I've seen shit that I can't explain. You know, and I would never like look at your story like yours and be like, yeah, whatever, it's in your head. No, dude, shit happens, bro, that we cannot explain. You know? You gonna say, Jay?
I got a story as well, and it was just recent actually, and I've never really told anyone this because I really didn't know how to make of it. So one of the arts I practice is Japanese sword, Shinkendo and Iaido, and we would have cutting sessions called tamashigiri, and so basically tamashigiri is where you know, in feudal Japan, as a way to cut like the new swords and everything, they would cut like, you know, wet wrapped bamboo mats to like, and they'll have like, you know, the most top like, you know, samurai to use it and everything. And so my Soke or Shihan, who was pretty much like almost like a second dad to me, passed away back in 2018, I believe. And so one of the items that's treasured by us is his sword, and we used to call it the cattle. No, we still do. Sorry, we call it the Cadillac because it was such a really what do you call it? Like a fancy, like, designed sword and everything. It's very rare too. Like he got it in, during his travels to Japan, like years ago and everything. And so, I go up to my sensei. I was like, "Oh, is it okay if I try out that naval sword?" It was a Japanese Navy sword that we used to have. And she thought, "Oh, you mean Shihan's sword?" I'm like, "Whoa, his sword? Like, do you want to use it?" I'm like, "I don't know. This is Shihan's sword. There's so much history and everything." And so I'm like, yeah, I can. I was still nervous because it's holding his sword and everything. And so once I held the sword, this spirit almost came over me. And I thought it was just, because I'm nervous, I'm using Shihan's sword and I don't want to, break it or like bent it or anything. Do something. And so it felt like when Luke held Anakin's lightsaber the first time in New Hope.
So you held it up to your eye?
Yeah, pretty much. And so I do the cuts, and something felt different about these cuts. Like they were very precise. They were very like technically clean and everything. And so I thought, because I was nervous, I didn't want to ruin the sword and everything. I just thought, my game was just up and everything. But I look back to that day, and it got me thinking about psychometry. It's like basically where you hold an object and like you can get like the history behind it. Like basically, it's kind of like that movie Vibes with Jeff Goldblum and Cyndi Lauper, where he can know the history of an item just by holding it. And so I always felt that when I held that sword, I felt his spirit as well as his technique, because like when I saw these cuts, like they're not like when I use other swords and everything, there's like a little bit of like waviness and everything, but with these cuts, they were precise. So it almost felt like Shihan's spirit was in this sword, which transcended to me. And then when I cut like him.
You were the conduit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like the best way to feel it and everything.
Ninja 3, the domination.
I didn't have to drink milk or anything.
No. You were possessed by a Shokasugi.
Right. That'd be dope, actually. He's still alive, though, so.
No. Well, I guess you couldn't.
No. But
he could be inside you, though.
Right.
Oh.
Ooh. I mean, ninja dead. But no, I
was it to quote George Takei?
Yeah.
Oh my.
But I didn't think too much of it. Maybe because I didn't want to think too much of it. It's like, but I just couldn't help but feel like his spirit, being there when I cut. Because, our dojo, it's kind of like a new age type of dojo. Because we do like, Renki, and we also do exercises where it's like tapping within our own energy, our own soul and everything. And so we always said that, Shihan may be physically gone, but he's still with us. Like his spirit is still there and everything within the dojo, which is funny because like every time I mess up a kata, I can just feel him going like, do it again, or something like that.
The thing is that a lot of people believe that we don't ever really leave this world. We convert into energy, and like there's people who in the religious belief there's an afterlife, but for the most part, science tells us that we change energy, we become something different, and that's what people call the spirit. And a lot of times, that's when people think they see ghosts. It's somebody's physical energy that they see. Well, not physical energy, but their energy that
manifesting.
They see. Yeah, exactly. So we never really leave this world. So, but yeah, it could be. It's a big possibility. Yeah.
But honestly, like everything weird that happens in our lives, honestly, I like to believe in like there has to be a scientific explanation and everything. And I think we think that, or at least I think that as to show as a way to like comfort ourselves,
Right.
because we don't want to think the weirdest thing to happen, you know. But honestly, with your story, with Gus's story, and
Yeah, but that's
and mine's and
I
everything,
think that's a societal thing. People want to tell people, "Oh, well, that because it doesn't explain it."
Right.
But there's unexplained things that happen every day, and we don't know because not everyone can know everything,
Yeah.
even though some people think they do.
Yeah.
They call them conservatives.
Ba-dum-bum.
Well, I mean, like that goes back to like the Salem witch trials and
Well,
everything.
who was the ones?
The conservatives.
Right.
So I think, that whole like stigma of like, if we think of the supernatural, then that means something bad's going to happen or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah.
bogus.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go take a quick break. We need into some other Halloween stories. We'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you guys to continue to hang out with us. And Edible Eds, Ed, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So you told us a fascinating story, but we wanted to talk about something fun, like or fun, tragic, whatever,
Depending on your point of view.
Yeah, maybe something you did as a kid for Halloween, like traditions or parties you've been to. I know Jay, there's a story you've been dying to share, so I'll let you go ahead first.
Yeah. So the haunted houses, that's like a cornerstone of like all Halloween and everything, you know. And so I remember my first haunted house experience, and it was when my family, it was like around like Halloween 93, my family, we moved into this new apartment complex called Deerwood, and it's in Rancho Bernardo. So it's like a very like, you know, upper middle class type of area. So Deerwood Apartments was very family friendly. Like the, at the, what do you call it, the rental office, they would always have like, you know, activities, after school stuff and
That's
everything. Cool. And they go all out for Halloween. Because like their rental office is actually a 3-level building. So you had the middle area, which was the rental office and everything. They had a clubhouse right across the way. Top was like another clubhouse for like the after school programs, and at the bottom is like the pool access, gym access, and the arcade. Like they had arcade machines. They had Street Fighter, which is dope.
Sick, yeah.
So got my fighting game education there. So when we moved into Deerwood, it was right when it was actually the beginning of like a Halloween and everything. So back in October actually. And so we hear about like, they're on Halloween, they're going to have like a haunted house at the rental office. So this should be fun and everything. So I went, it was me, my mom, and my uncle. And so we go there. And when I say all out, I mean all out. That place scared the shit out of me.
Oh.
It was so fucking horrifying. They must have got Rick Baker, Tom Savini on the payroll or something, because like the effects were so good, and they used the strobe light. The thing is, the strobe light fucks with your sensories and everything. You have no idea what's going on. And so I remember being very scared because, like, you know, I was 9 and I was holding my mom's hand very tight and everything. And my uncle, he was the fun uncle and everything, so he would like talk shit and everything, like, "Oh, what's up, cuz?" and everything. I ain't scared of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I was that uncle.
Yeah. And so, and I remember they had the operating table, and they had the sheet, and you see like the blood was like coming from like the surgery wound and everything.
Oh, you said the sheet. My bad.
What'd you think I said?
Yeah.
Well, no, serious.
Poop.
Anyway.
I was like, they had the shit.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure some kids shot themselves that night.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like it.
Who takes a kid into a fucking
The Funkle
haunted house
does.
like that, dude?
The 90s.
Johnny's Funkle.
The Funkle?
Yeah. So we go through the haunted house and everything. We leave, and like we get back home, and I'm like doing the whole like little rocket back and forth though, because it was the scariest shit ever. It was.
Can't sleep, clown leave me.
And I'm like, I was
That's
scared.
a deep Simpsons cut right
Seriously,
there.
Right.
dude.
But yeah, man. But like, you know, looking back, I was like, God damn, like. That was a cool haunted house and everything. Because the thing is, like, you want to be scared. Like, we don't want to be scary and everything. We don't want to see that shit. But like, after the high has come down, and you're okay and whatnot, you realize, God damn, that was a really good haunted house. And honestly, I think that like set my standard high for haunted houses now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if you can't scare me like I was when I was like 9 and everything, then nah.
Yeah, you gotta step your game up.
Oh, yeah,
haunted house is
absolutely.
punk as shit.
Yeah.
Me, it was a funny story. Now that we're going to talk about haunted houses, we might as well keep it going. This is going to be a deep cut for people back in Orlando. Shout out to O-Town. I'm kidding. I lived there for a while. I don't even care. My brother and sister still live there, though. There's a place back in the day. This was also in the 90s. It was called Terror on Church Street. It was a year-round haunted house. And it was a 3-story 25-minute walkthrough. So it was like a big giant warehouse they converted into this haunted house, and every section had its different theme. Like there was a graveyard, there was a hospital, there was an insane asylum, shit like that. And I remember one time I was living there, my sister came down to visit, my oldest sister came down to visit. She brought my niece. My sister was probably in her 30s. My niece was like 8-9 years old, maybe something like that. My niece is only 9 years younger than me. As in true Puerto Rican families, you know, you have to have I got a nephew that's a year older than me. Anyway, so she went with us, and I'm like, you sure of this? Because I had gone there. Guys in my age, I was like 19 at the time. What we would do is we'd take girls there because it would scare them senseless, so they all hug up on you. So you know,
Yeah, you get a little play right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we would go. So my brother and I had gone through it like a few times, but every few weeks they change it so they can bring people back again. So they change it up. Anyway, so my sister had never been in anything like this. The closest thing was like in Coney Island Haunted House, was that cheesy shit you go around in the car, and you know it's a witch on a string.
Yeah.
So it was a very dated shit.
Yeah. So they haven't changed it to like 1940.
Hey, why fix what ain't broke?
All right, seriously.
No, they broke. So we go, and I told my sister, "Are you sure?" I said, "Because I know you get scared easy." My sister's a chicken shit. So she was like, "Yeah, we'll be fine." My niece is 10. I was like, "This is not for her." So she went, because you walk in groups of it was 8 to 10. So my niece is sandwiched in between the adults, and she's right in front of me. So we're walking through, and halfway through, we're getting scared. There's like clowns and shit like that, and there's a room that has dolls hanging from everywhere, because dolls can be fucking creepy. Way before Annabelle, those fucking porcelain face dolls and shit, those are creepy as fuck.
Or the little like marionettes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Or especially when somebody like hangs them from the ceiling, and they're like fucking, like, people don't, like, you ever watch the movie The Boy? That fucking doll is terrifying. So we're walking through, and my sister, we had to run at one point because Freddy was chasing us. And
Freddy Krueger.
yeah, Freddy
Krueger.
Nightmare in Aisle 3. Freddy Krueger.
Why does that sound like an SNL skit?
I don't know, but I should be a writer.
If it's
I'm
not,
saying.
if it's not, it should be.
Yeah. Pete Davidson beat Freddy.
Maybe tonight, dude.
Oh, there you go. He's hosting.
Well, he is hosting.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson is Freddy. I could just, damn, no, I can't picture that.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah, perfect Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Clean up an aisle 5.
Nightmare in aisle 7.
6. Your coupons still work here. Double homicide, I mean coupon.
There you go.
So we're walking through it. After that, all I hear is her go, "Oh my God, I pissed myself." And I thought she was kidding. No, she literally, ass woman, pissed herself.
Jesus.
So we continue walking. And I told you were going to be fucking scared. This is some scary shit. So we're walking through, and then this clown jumps out, and he screams at my niece, who's mine is 10 years old, and she starts screaming bloody murder. She's terrified. And he screams back at her, and like he got really close to her. And I turned to him in quite the Brooklyn I could have, like, "Motherfucker, I'm going to knock you out." He went right into the shadows. He saw the look on my face. He was like, "Okay." I scared the clown, dude, because that's how scared she got. And I was like, I was so mad that there was another time, I tell you, we went through it a few times. My brother's friend, who was in high school, he was about 6'2", 250 pounds in high school. They were all on the football team.
He's a cop.
Yeah. Now, no, he's a fisherman. I don't know.
No. He was a cop in high school. He 21. That was like 21 Jump Street shit.
But no, this kid was a punk, dude. One time I had to save him from a fight because he was afraid this 5'4" guy was going to beat him up. I swear to God, I laughed so hard. They took me up there, and I was like, I look at this kid, I'm gonna go, this is what you're afraid of?
Yeah.
I was like, this. You could put him in your pocket, and you scared of him. Anyway, so we go there with him and these couple of girls, right? And he wasn't getting any play that night because one, we was a group of 5 of us, so there's 2 girls and us 3 guys, and he tells my brother, "I want to be right behind you." Yeah. I'm like freezing before it was a thing.
To my window.
So he wouldn't even let the girls be in front of him, like to quote unquote protect them.
Yeah.
So I went all the way last, and the girls were between us. And he got so scared, he picked my brother up by the belt, picked him up. My brother's feet were not on the ground, and he ran a good 20 feet with him, holding him up like
Jesus.
He was so scared and left the girls behind.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I'm like, well, we know who not to invite to.
Well, where was that strength when he was being, hassled by Joe Pesci?
Funny you say that because
It was Joe Pesci? I'm just picturing him just throwing the smoke at high school kids.
It was a small town in Florida, and I don't know if you guys ever grew up or lived or wherever in a small town. All the kids congregate at the shopping center.
Yeah,
that's where they congregate. So this was always on the weekends. It was by the McDonald's and the movie theater, and the video game room was right there.
Yeah.
So everybody was there. Anyway, I get a call from my brother that there's some shit starting. So I drive up there. I'm about to throw down, and this kid was named Sean, big ass kid. Like I say, he was a lineman on the football team. He says that some dude's trying to threaten to kick his ass. So me and my brother go up there. My brother is already a black belt in Taekwondo. I know how to fuck people up just because.
You ought to say, I know crazy.
So we go up there, and I expect this big giant dude and a bunch of guys. It was these 2 5'6" little fucking Puerto Rican dudes, and he goes, "Oh, you don't know me? I'm from the Bronx." I'm like, I don't want to know you, and I'm from Brooklyn, so what's your point?
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, you from Brooklyn? What's up?" And he put his hand out. I was like, "Bro, you better put your hand out before I knock that shit out."
Yeah.
And he just looked at me. I'm like, "What?" And he just backed down. I was like, "That's how you do it, you big fuck." I looked at him and said, "Next time you call me up and somebody looks like that, I'm fucking you up."
Well, dude, okay.
And he apologized to me. I'm like, "You motherfucker."
Well, dude, your friend, it's a whole self-esteem thing, man.
It is.
Like, even though he's a big dude and everything, if his self-esteem is shit, then everyone would push him around.
It's true, but all it takes is to do one fucking green mile to a motherfucker. Grab just one of them by the throat, pick him up off his feet, and everybody else will be like, "Okay, don't fuck with you."
I think that's the fear of the unknown.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but like you said, once you actually stand up for yourself, you're like, oh shit, I was afraid of you. Yeah.
No, and the little dude, he had what do they call it? Napoleon complex, little man syndrome.
Was he Baby Joker?
Probably.
Yeah.
He was Puerto Rican. We don't go by Baby Joker. We go by Skittles.
Hey,
and shit like
it
that.
doesn't matter the title. It's still that type of energy.
You laugh, but I do know a guy growing up named Skittles.
No,
So,
dude, I knew. Well, I mean,
I'm just picturing him with his pants halfway down his ass and the beanie.
Well, in my less distinguished days, I don't know. I was called Dash.
Dash?
Well, because I could actually run when I was younger. I could keep up with everyone or outrun some people.
Dash Matos.
It was. They called me Dash. That was my tag up name.
Right.
Because literally, I was a part of a enthusiastic, rabble rousing group of young men,
Thugs.
quote unquote,
and the young lords.
The Young Lords.
Oh.
Yeah, the young lords, and I used to get asked to chase people to catch them, and I could.
Like a dog?
Yeah, pretty much.
Go
Back
Dash.
on it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was
We
like,
should have called you Duke.
what, like a poo?
No, because the typical dog name.
No, I know because Duke is poop too.
Well, I was thinking Duke.
Oh, okay.
Damn. This
just
nigga,
goes in the
this
gutter with
nigga
this
and his
guy.
fucking shit fetish, man.
Yeah, it goes into the gutter.
I'm not German. Fuck you.
I don't know with the amount of references.
All due respect to the Germans.
Yeah,
Scheiße.
they make sex stuff.
So, you got any haunted house stories?
Well, since you guys gave scary ones, I'll give a more lighthearted
Well,
one.
mine was kind of funny. My
Yeah, it was
sister
funny.
pissed herself.
Yeah, mine was like Goosebumps kid scary. So yeah,
Speaking of Goosebumps, they bringing it back out.
I heard,
dude, they have it.
yeah.
It's on Disney Plus already.
It started yesterday.
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
It started
Justin
yesterday.
Long is in it.
Justin Long is
Oh,
in
right
the first
on.
one. Yeah, he's possessed by some teenage ghost.
Right.
Yeah, they're trying to take revenge on the kids of the people that killed him.
Whoa, Jason Goes to Hell plot?
That's something
Dang.
Pretty
like
much,
that.
yeah, for children.
It's this
Yeah.
kid that's killed by his other friends or other kids in high school, I guess, accidentally in a car accident. So
Right.
he's ghost. It possesses Justin Long, the new guy in town, to take revenge
To do his
on the
bidding.
kids.
That's pretty heavy for Goosebumps.
Seriously,
Because usually,
yeah.
like, it's like scary, but like kid
Oh, no.
scary.
Well,
Yeah.
it's still like supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But it's more. Yeah, I think it's more that they've realized that the teenagers nowadays ain't gonna get scared by going boogly boogly boogly.
Well, yeah, because like back then, like, you know, because I used to read all the Goosebumps books and everything,
Yeah.
and like they were scary to a kid, but they were like family friendly scary, like Monster Blood about like that mutated hamster, or like the kid who got turned into a bee, or like what do you call it, the puppet and everything. So
Okay, first of all, puppets are scary. Period. It's the fucking not the Jeff Dunham ones, but like the old ones. What was it?
Ventriloquist.
The old ventriloquist dummies that just move the eyes and the mouth went up and down. Those just are terrifying.
or the ones that scared your friend
Yeah, that one too.
because he's a puppet.
Because he's a puppet. Because he was little.
You don't know me, man. I'm from the Bronx. I got strings. there
Ain't no strings on me.
ain't no strings on me, nigga.
That's why they call me Skittle, not puppet.
Little puppy. they kill Paco.
They kill Killer, yo. They kill Killer. I'm Cuban, B.
Yes, Cuban B.
Oh, speaking of which, before you go into your story, I want to watch that. I haven't watched it in
Tales from the Hood?
Tales from the Hood.
I was going to talk about that in our last episode,
Tales
but we
from
didn't
the
get
Hood.
time. But damn, that movie, man, let me tell you.
It wasn't it hosted by Snoop Dogg?
No, Clarence Williams III.
Oh, because Snoop Dogg did one
Yeah,
similar.
Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg did
where he's
one.
like the crypt keeper.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were
Yeah.
saying you were gonna tell us a funny story about a haunted
Well,
house.
the funny thing is, so I grew up in Los Angeles, and like, you know, we'd got like the neighborhood I grew up in was nicer than most. But my brother, I eventually went to high school in Burbank, and that's like the epicenter of Hollywood, right? So like, yeah, like
so you went to school with a lot of white kids.
no, I
Really?
didn't actually.
In Burbank?
Yeah, it
I
was
think that's where
mostly
they had like the old
Armenians.
Tonight Show, right? Like,
Yeah, so the old Tonight Show was
Yeah.
like right across the street from my school, and like Disney Studios was right across the street. Universal was down the street, Warner Brothers down the street. So it was literally in the heart of like Hollywood, right?
Dang, nice.
And like one of my brother's friends lived in like a really nice area of Burbank, and she would have a Halloween party every year. And she's white,
Yeah.
right? So like we would go, and I guess we were kind of like the token like minority friends.
So it was kind of like the Halloween parties you see like on 90210.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
It's totally
there's
like
one
a
black
movie.
dude, and like you can only have one.
Well,
Yeah.
that and the costumes look like it was made by a Hollywood designer.
No, seriously,
Right.
dude, that was her
wasn't
costumes
like
every
movies
year.
and shit? Yeah.
Her because her mom worked for Warner Brothers, so she had access to all this stuff. Like she had legit like props and stuff like that.
Yeah.
and we would show up, and I remember like, you know, because like for me, a party growing up was like everyone would bring something, you know, like it was all like family style, like, you know, and
Like
then
a
there
potluck
was
style.
Yeah.
and there was dancing, and like everyone would, you know, leave like at 2 a.m. because you're partying all night. But this was like a literal white person party. You show up, like there's a range of time, right? Like so it was like 5 to 9. You show up, we go, and like there was an agenda. Like you show up, everyone gets there.
We're gonna bob for apples. From
I'm not even
7:30 to
kidding, dude.
7:30.
That
I'm
doesn't
not
sound
even
like
kidding.
a party. That sounds like a timeshare
No,
type
for
of
real, it was
presentation.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
like my
nuts.
brother and I, like we were kind of like, wow, this is different, but like okay. So we would go, and like this is the first time I ever had a bowl of chili.
Yeah.
Like I only ever had it on something,
Right.
Like a chili dog, a chili burger, a
bowl of
She
chili,
literally was like, "There's a crock pot full of chili. Help yourself." And I'm like, "Well, what do we put it on?" And she's like, "In a bowl." And you put it in a bowl, and there was diced onions and shredded cheese.
I mean, that does sound pretty bomb, though.
Oh no, it was great,
Yeah.
right? And ever since then, like that was like I'm like, wow, you could do more with chilies than just eating on a hot dog.
Meanwhile, his friends' parents are going, "This uncultured swine."
No, for real, dude. So it was a trip, right? So we would go, and like we would have like the bobbing for apples and all that stuff, do all that. But then we would go trick or treating in the neighborhood, and like in Los Angeles, and I mean, I think some people know there was a DJ named Rick Dees.
Yeah, of course.
Wait,
Yeah.
the radio?
Yeah, Disco Duck.
Yeah.
Disco Duck.
Yeah, exactly. Disco Duck,
Disco
right?
Duck,
But like,
of
you
course.
know, like other than that, like people don't know who he
no,
was, but
he
he
was-
was huge.
He was on the Z Morning Zoo in New York for a while. He's actually hosted a lot of TV shows. He used to
Yeah.
host New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Yeah.
He was basically the original Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Disco Duck was like number one for like a while.
A long time.
Which
Yeah.
a lot of people still to this day are like, what?
Yeah. So he lived not far, right? And we would go in that neighborhood, and he would give out like full candy bars.
Ooh, he was that
So,
house.
dude, but like everyone there would. Like you would just get the best candy. So we would go trick or treating for a couple hours, and then go back to her house for more chili, and we would play GoldenEye.
Yeah, because that's what
On
you want to put in.
64.
Oh, yeah,
because that's what
GoldenEye.
you want to put in teenagers, a bunch of beans,
Right.
And then put them in a closed room together.
No, this is white people chili, no beans. It was
Yeah.
just
What?
meat. It's just
Unseasoned?
meat, dude. Yeah. No, it was like from a can, but it was no beans.
Oh, like Denti.
Yeah, it's like, you know, that,
Right.
yeah. No, that's beef stew.
See, honestly, but,
It's still gross.
but let me.
But hey, you know, it was all right. You know?
Meat should not be in a can on
I-
the shelf for 12 years.
I mentioned this in our last show and everything, but let me tell you, trick or treating in like the rich parts of the neighborhood are the best
The best,
because like
dude.
the candy they give out, it's like
Yo, when I used to
Toblerone
go-
size and everything.
For real,
yeah.
dude.
When I first moved here, I used to take my kids to the good neighborhood to go trick or treating.
Yeah.
Bro, they still
Yeah.
do it. You see these Mexican families pull up.
Hell
and
yeah,
fucking call
dude. That
18
happens
kids.
to
Dale,
us
pues,
now,
cuando?
dude.
Yeah.
Because they give out the full size candy bars.
Dude,
they go to
okay, so-
Costco and get the box.
For real. And I'll tell you another story. So that was like the crazy white
Yeah.
Halloween. But then we lived in Oakland for a while, right? And we
Culture
lived like,
shock.
yeah,
Yeah.
we lived like 20 miles north,
Wait, you
right?
went from living in Burbank to going to Oakland?
Well,
Talk
not
about night
Oakland
and
proper.
day.
This
Oh.
was kind of like the nice,
I heard
like
it.
bougie
So-
area.
I was like,
So
I heard
basically,
there's nothing
it was-
proper about Oakland.
No, yeah.
Well, I mean, like there are like two like
Well, yeah,
pretty
the
much levels. Yeah,
suburbs.
there's
Yeah.
like there's Oakland and there's Oakland.
Yeah.
Well,
So we lived
suburb
in
of Oakland is San Francisco.
yeah. So we lived in a little like city called Hercules. And it was like, it was literally like two streets, right? But like when we were getting ready to leave, like everyone was moving there
Right.
because it was nice, it was quiet, it was right by the water, dude. It was beautiful, right?
sounds great.
It was awesome. So we lived there, and Halloween, like literally like what you said, there was just people that would bring their kids, like bus them
Yeah.
in, and they would literally just walk the block.
Yeah.
That was it. It was the same kid over and over again. And I'm like, dude, we bought, I'm not even kidding, like hundreds of dollars worth of candy. And we went through every single piece of candy before like 8:30.
Yeah.
It was nuts, dude. But like at 8:15 or something, there was like, all of a sudden you just hear screeching tires coming down the street.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
And a car just like, so there was this park across, like a little park across the street from our house. The car like drove up onto the curb.
Yeah.
And mind you, the street is full of kids.
Right.
And another car comes right behind it. And these guys jump out of the car.
What?
And they have guns in their hands.
Oh, shit.
And they start like banging on the car, the first car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to, because I have law enforcement background, so I'm trying to get everyone in the house,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get people out of the street.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the first car like drives off.
Yeah.
And the guys in the second car, the one guy that had the gun, started firing
Jesus.
at the car as it drove off. So then he jumps in his car and chases them. And I'm just trying to like clear the street, right? And you have people still like trick or treating.
Oh, hell
And I'm
no.
like, hey, we're shutting this down,
Yeah.
you know? So the police come and they want to know what's going on. We find out that
Yeah.
there was like a McDonald's not far from where we lived. And I guess it was like they were supposed to be selling a laptop. And the people selling the laptop like didn't get the money.
Oh no.
They just
wow.
snatch and grab.
Oh.
So
So
they
he's chasing him?
Yeah, and then it ended up on our street.
And he's telling people, we're not giving candy. Give me my candy, puto. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not even kidding, dude.
Dude,
I'm
you're
like, dude, there was just a shooting like 10 feet from us.
He's like, I don't give a fuck. Give me my Skittles, puto.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it was
Wow.
nuts,
It's all
man.
about the Pentiums.
Yeah, for real, man.
He's fucking-
That was
kid-
nuts.
That kid,
Yeah.
that kid wanted his Tootsie Rolls.
But luckily, like nobody was hurt or
No.
anything. Okay.
No, not
Yeah.
no.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Man, that was scary though, dude.
Shit, that's scarier than any fucking
Right.
haunted
Hell
house.
yeah.
Over
dude.
a fucking laptop.
I have a laptop,
Bro, there's
dude.
people get
Yeah,
shot
they-
over a fucking pack of Twizzlers.
Yeah,
bro.
for real.
Come on.
Yeah, little puppet.
Little Joker.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't fuck with my Twizzlers, puto.
You ever try to drink soda through a Twizzler? Man?
Yeah, that's funny. But so Oh, speaking of, okay, I'm gonna declare right here, right now. People need to stop insulting black licorice and candy corns.
Nah.
I love candy
They're
corn.
amazing treats, both of them.
Black licorice,
son.
black licorice, no.
Australian
but candy
black
corn.
licorice? Come
I've never had
on.
that. No,
Well,
but black
I don't have
licorice.
anything against black licorice and everything. In fact, that's my stripper name. Black licorice.
That's his
Drag name.
That's his drag name.
Yeah.
On the stage, black licorice.
No, it's like, oh, go do stage, got black licorice. But candy corn is still nasty though.
Oh, no, I love
Gun to my head, I would choose black licorice over candy corn.
Candy corn is
I'll take
shit,
it. Give it
dude.
to me.
Yeah, you're right. It is shit.
Give it to me. I'll eat it. Dude.
Okay. Actually, honestly, I think
love it.
because I think my girl and I are planning on going trick or treating again. If I do get candy corn, I'll send it right to you.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take it. I'll happily
You know what's
accept
even
it.
better than the candy corns? The pumpkins. The candy
Yeah, they're
pumpkins.
okay.
The candy pumpkins are
Shut
alright.
up.
Yeah, they're okay.
Get out.
Well, I mean, I like candy corn better if I had to choose.
Yeah.
If I had to choose.
Speaking of the candies, let's close out with this. Your number one when you were a kid that you wanted to have, like. Oh, well, actually, before we get into that, there was something you said about bobbing for apples.
Yeah.
If you think about it, bobbing for apples is probably one of the most disgusting Halloween customs
really is.
ever.
It's also one of the most like overly sexualized games ever.
Yeah, but you're also sticking your head in nasty ass water.
Spit water.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's how COVID started.
Yeah.
They're sweating.
Yeah. Boogers.
We were watching Riverdale, and this girl, she has her head under the water in the bobbing for apples for like a good 5 minutes. She comes up and she goes, 5. They're like, what? I ate 5 apples. You're not supposed to eat them under the water.
Every time I think of like a bombing for apples, it just reminds me like the very first Halloween theme episode of South Park.
Yeah.
They're doing the whole bobbing for apples, and Mr. Garrison is like, "All right, baby, just use your teeth like those kids in China."
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
what the? As a kid, I'm like, okay. I watched this as a kid, and that went over my head. Yeah. Looking back, I'm like,
Damn.
shit. I know it's South Park, but goddamn,
That's
son.
a little raunchy.
And it's on brand for Garrison to say that.
Of course.
Yeah, but it's one of the most disgusting customs
It is.
because it's like everybody put their face in there. Yeah, you know there's backwash like a motherfucker.
Well, you know, it's like they said in like Seinfeld, you don't double dip the chip because it's like sticking your whole face in there.
Yeah, you might as well stick your penis in there and wiggle it around, dude. Yeah, I did that. I mean, what? Anyway. I mean, it is a disgusting tradition.
It is.
It
It's
is.
gross.
But
It's
I
a
hope
white
they're facing-
person thing for
Oh, it
sure.
is. I was about
yeah.
to say, like, you know who don't do that? You know who don't do
Yeah.
that?
I never,
But
no, you never go to Puerto Rico's bobbing for apple. Bobbing for what? Fuck you. man.
Seriously, dude,
Wasting
just give
my
me the
apples
apple
in
for
there.
real.
or you ask black people to do that. I ain't sticking my face in that shit. Shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, we never did that at
No.
when we went to the White House.
The White
We
House.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my brother and I were like, nope, we'll sit back and watch you guys fail at doing that.
Well,
No,
I
you
hope
said
they.
you were-
I hope they are phasing that shit out, especially
Yeah.
you know pre-COVID.
No, you
Yeah.
said you
Or
you-
post-COVID.
You said you like that was your introduction to the non-ethnic life. I remember when I moved to Florida, it was the first time I've been around people that weren't, Latino or black, and you feel like an oddity because they'll sit there and they find out what you are. And my brother was already, I guess they were already used to my brother, but my brother was a suburban Puerto Rican that grew up in Connecticut, so he was a coconut.
He was approved.
He was a coconut. You
No,
talk
no,
to him-
but, like,
you would
most,
talk to
like,
him,
yeah.
and my brother would be like, "Hey guy, what's going on?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, dude."
You're-
Yeah.
He was
yeah.
Carlton.
Oh, big time. He's the Puerto Rican Carlton. Dude, yeah, coconut, bro. But
Yeah.
on the outside.
All right.
So when they saw me and I was the oddity, they would sit there and just like look at you and wait to
Yeah.
see what you were going to do. I was like, motherfucker, this ain't National Geographic.
Dude, that's my life.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
That was
my
so-
life. Everywhere
Yeah.
I go, I'm 6'7".
Oh, yeah.
I'm a walking tree.
I mean, technically, you are an oddity.
I mean, I am, and I wear it, you know. But it's funny because like sometimes we do vlogs, right? And like, I'm usually recording like my daughter react to
Right.
something or whatever, and like when I'm editing, like I go back and you just see the looks that I get from people. Like it's crazy. Like I told my wife, I'm like, dude, I want to do a super cut one day of just that, of just the people's reactions
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
because it's nuts. Even at the Children's Museum, like people, I was telling Gus, I'm like, people like look at me and they're just
Yeah.
like, well, you're the chef, like you're the instructor.
Yeah.
Like,
you
what?
ever had a little kid look up at you and be like, "Are you a giant?" Because you could be to them.
Oh no, dude! I
Jesus.
get that all the time. I get a lot. It's like people either love or hate me,
Yeah.
you know, because they're afraid of me, right? But like, I'm a big teddy bear. Like, I'm like the nicest guy, I think.
You do remind me of Chief from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
Because they were
Chief,
old.
wow.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because they found him so intimidating because
Right.
Well, 'cause
he was like
never
7
spoke
foot.
and he was giant.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. However, like Jack Nicholson's character started talking with him, and then you were like, you find out that Chief, hey, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally turn it on, but you know.
if you do have a Halloween costume idea, there you go.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no Native American will be
Yeah, I don't want to
to
get canceled.
Right.
I'm trying to grow my business.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Grow. Because you're tall.
Okay, Apache Chief.
I was just going to say.
You know, Chuck.
Well, that's my thing for the day.
And thanks for listening, guys. We have now been officially canceled.
Shit. You can try canceling me. I'll throw the race card. Oh, you canceling me because I'm Puerto Rican? Motherfucker.
My race car is laminated.
Bulletproof.
That reminds me of what was it called? 30 Rock when Tracy Morgan's character, he was like race card. He actually pulls out a card that's laminated, says race card, and Tina Fey is reaches for it, and her writer's like, don't reach for it. Ah, damn it.
That's like I was like it from Lethal Weapon, Die Hard with a Vengeance. You don't like me because I'm white. I don't like you because you're gonna get me killed.
Yeah.
So it was like it's not that I don't like you because you're XYZ. It's because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
I was like, has nothing to
That's
do
what
with
it boils
it.
down to.
Yeah.
It's the character.
Well,
I was about to say, like what MLK said.
Yeah, it's the character, man.
fuck the police. Is that what it was? Oh wait, that wasn't MLK.
No, that was Malcolm X.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, you know what MLK always said? Fuck the police.
Okay.
Dude, I guarantee some kid probably thinks that now.
Right.
I guarantee.
And he probably thinks that Malcolm X and Tupac met just because they saw like a velvet painting of them shaking
Exactly.
hands.
To quote the great philosopher Flavor Flav,
Yeah.
911 is a joke.
Okay, David Allen Greer and like I'm gonna get you, sucker. From the words of the great poet Don Cornelius, peace, love, and soul.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, so wrap it up. Let's say your favorite. Let's start off with you, Ed. Your favorite Halloween treat that you got when you were a kid, like you had to get one when you were.
Dude, when I was a kid, it probably was Three Musketeers.
Oh, those are fancy.
Nougat?
Dude,
Yeah.
the nougat,
Nougat.
like, man, that was the
Nougat.
fanciest thing I've ever
Bro, and
had.
it's just the simplest candy.
really
it's
is.
nougat coated in chocolate.
That's it.
But you know what it is? It's the brand. Because Three Musketeers had a fancy wrapping.
Well,
you
Dude,
know?
they had the
It's
Three
also the
Musketeers
nougat
on
there.
there.
Yeah, and
It's
Three
also
Musketeers, it's like
the-
high literature.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's also. I think to me it's the nougat.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
the
very
nougat-
velvety
Oh,
and
yeah.
soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said nougat, right?
That's right.
Okay.
The nougat. Ted nougat. Nobody wants that.
No.
No, thanks.
It's deer flavored.
For kids. Because he's a pedophile.
Now for kids.
And no coloreds. Because Ted Nugent looks like the guy that would call people coloreds.
Oh,
And
he does.
Asian people, Orientals.
Oh my God. That's a deep cut.
Yeah. He cut racist, racial slur.
All right. So anyway, from candy to racist Ted.
I mean, don't they go hand in hand?
That's 6 degrees of separation. We can do it in 2. Hold my beer.
Wait, you said segregation. So Jay, you're a
Well, my fans. It was Three Musketeers, but it was also Milky Way.
Yeah, me too.
Milky Way was really nice.
See, y'all were too fancy for me.
Well, that's why it was the one that we wanted. Because
Yeah.
that was the one we never got.
For me, it was in the hood. So ours, and I don't know if you guys have ever even heard of this one. They're called Chico Sticks.
Yeah, dude.
Chico Sticks. They're peanut butter candy, and no chocolate on it.
No.
They're like these peanut buttery candies. The Chico Sticks, because in the hood they didn't give out Three Musketeers and shit like that. It was Chico Sticks, Big Blow. You know what Big Blows are? Big Blow is this nasty ass rock hard candy, and inside you got that nasty bubble gum that lasts about 2 seconds. They were gross. They're pink. Yeah, it was those, or you got Tootsie Rolls. Tootsie Rolls, for some reason, Tootsie Rolls is dirt cheap.
Yeah, they're the cheapest.
But they're so good.
Cheaper
But you know
than
what's
dirt.
funny is
They're
that
so good. When I was a kid, did they have? Because you guys are younger than me, did they have flavored Tootsie
Yeah.
Rolls when you were
Yeah.
a kid?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they like crack now to me. They
Yeah.
didn't have those when I was
No,
growing
they
up.
had
with
those,
the speaking of Tootsie Rolls, with the Tootsie Roll Pops, they had that star on the what do you call it? On the wrapper and everything.
Pops, yeah.
Tootsie Pops, yeah. So at the 7-Eleven, when I lived in Deerwood Apartments,
Yeah.
they would give you like I forgot what it was. They gave you something for free if your wrapper had a star on it.
Herpes?
Yeah. What?
Herpes?
No. Again, Rancho Bernardo, not El Cajon.
I've been to El Cajon. He ain't too far wrong.
But like,
Have you been to El Cajon?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what he's talking about.
yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. If you don't know, now you know.
All due respect to those in El Cajon.
Google it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, my motorcycle club went through El Cajon once. One of the dudes that was from the mother chapter was like, yo, hurry up. Fuel up fast. Get the fuck out of there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, damn, bikers don't want to go through El Cajon? Where
Oh no,
the fuck
because El
am I?
Cajon's fucking rough, man. Like
Yeah.
I remember the first time, the first mass shooting I heard about as a kid and everything happened in El Cajon and everything.
I knew somebody in El Cajon. Wink.
Were you the shooter? No.
Wink.
Yeah.
I knew somebody in El Cajon. I mean, what? Anyway,
Yeah.
Ed got it. Anyway, so you're saying, so your candy go-to was what?
Yeah. So, but yeah,
Way.
the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Mr. Goodbar. The Mr. Goodbar was really nice and everything.
Mr. Goodbar. That's
Yeah.
the with
Had
the peanuts
peanut in it?
The
it's
peanuts,
got
yeah.
It's like a Hershey's with peanuts.
Yeah. Like
Well,
whole
they were the
peanuts.
same company,
But
and I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Milky Way and Three Musketeers were the same company as well.
The
That's
Mars.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
M&M
nougat.
Mars made the Three Musketeers and the Milky Way, and then Mr. Goodbar is Hershey's.
Yeah, but it was also the chocolate coins, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, because I remember like there were some houses because again like Deer was like upper middle class and everything.
Yeah.
They would have like those nice candies, but like when you find out about a house that had like those type of candies as well as like the chocolate coins and everything, you let everybody know. But like it'd be like, oh dude, go to this house right there. They got this, they got that, and everything. And that was like one of my favorite parts about Halloween was like basically like the candy networking amongst the kids.
Yeah, we used to have to watch
like
out for
ants.
bags. We used to
Yeah.
have to watch out for bag snatchers.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
They had those in your
Not in
neighborhood.
Burbank.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, not
We
the
have
bags.
We have bag snatchers.
We didn't deal with bag snatchers and everything. However, we've dealt with like greedy kids because like they'll have like the bowl out there and it's say take one.
Yeah, my girl does
Those
that. She goes,
assholes.
she puts it out. She don't like interacting with people.
Yeah.
and especially like with kids.
Yeah.
So I like to look at the costumes. I used to like
Yeah,
to
it's
because I
cute.
like to see the costumes. Like I used to love taking my girls trick or treating because you could see the costumes, and some of the originality and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
so
creativity.
Yeah.
there was. She puts the bowl out and says, "Take a couple," and she can hear them. And so the kid will go take it says take a few. So the kid will take a couple, and the mom goes, "Yeah, I'll take one." He goes, "It just take a few," or vice versa. Like you'll have kids, they'll try to take like half the bowl, and the other kids will call them out, "Put it back." Put it back."
Yeah, dude.
So okay, it's funny you mentioned that because I was watching like those fail videos on YouTube, and it showed footage from like what do you call it, the ring, the doorbell camera.
Yeah.
And so it was the Halloween setup, and they had the bowls and everything. And so you see these kids, like the older kids, are just like taking like
bunch of them?
a bunch of
Yeah.
them, and then the lady of the house says, "Hi, excuse me, put those back, one per kid. Do not be greedy." And they're like, "Damn it!" They just look so
Yeah.
butthurt and everything, putting the candy back and everything.
See that I seen one where it was, and this was disgusting. The father told the little girl went and took one, and he goes, "Take more," and she's like, "It says take one." The little kid is schooling her
Dude,
dad,
wait.
and he like takes a fistful. She goes, "No, Dad." She puts them back. She goes, "It says take one." I'm like, "Good for the kid."
See, you know what? And that
He's
says
like,
a lot.
Hey,
Like,
Dad, don't be an asshole.
it's
Seriously.
like well, it says a lot about a person when their kid is more mature than
Yeah.
them.
Hell yeah.
The one I saw was cool too. Is this little kid? He walks up and he sees there's no candy left in the bowl. He was a bigger little kid, like he was maybe 12, and he took some of his and put it in the
put
bowl.
it in there.
Yeah,
I've seen that
because
too.
you saw that one, right?
Yeah.
I was like, that's a sweet kid.
That's
That kid was
what's up.
taught right.
Right.
Yeah, no, we do that. Yeah, because like my girl don't like socially interacting with people, especially like loud kids. So
Yeah.
and her neighborhood sometimes there's leftover candy, but there's places you can go donate it. Like you can go donate your leftover candy. Which I didn't
I think
know.
St. Vincent's does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is a guy named Vincent? Yeah.
Depends
Give
what
me-
corner he's
just
on.
Give me your candy. I'll take it.
Vinny Gambino.
Yes. Vin, that's how you get diabetes.
They send some to like
Third world
military
countries.
all over
Yeah,
too.
Third world countries.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yes,
at
they
the-
get- and somebody in the third world country. Yes, that's what they need. Your fucking
Yeah,
Snickers.
seriously. Yeah, we need your,
what was it?
We need water, motherfucker.
we need your almond joys.
It brings us joy.
Yeah.
But no,
So-
what was it? I know the children's hospitals, they do trick or treating
Yeah.
for the kids there and everything. And like they'll have, rooms as well as like, the desks where the nurses are and everything.
Yeah, they'll do trick or treating. Yeah.
When I worked at Chandler Mall at the GameStop there, but we were working on Halloween Day, and so almost all the stores in the mall actually had like candy for like the kids because parents would actually take kids to the mall and trick or treat, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
There's a couple of traditions that people have started. Like when I was a kid, they never did this. It's a big thing here called trunk or treat.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of churches and shit like that. Instead, or communities even instead of having kids go wander the street, God forbid something happened to them.
Right.
They do like in a parking lot.
Yep.
Everybody's got in the trunk of their car.
Yep.
And then there's another one I saw. These parents are smart. They didn't want the kid to eat a lot of candy, but they don't want the kid missing out on the fun of trick or treating. So they take her trick or treating, and they told her she can pick 4 of her favorite candies, right? And then the rest they leave out on the front door, and then the switch witch will come and give her a present.
Oh.
So the next morning she wakes up, opens the door, and there'll be like a Barbie doll. There'll be a toy
that's
there.
cool.
So they do the switch witch. So she leaves her candy, and the witch takes the candy and leaves her a present.
That's cool.
So I thought that's a good idea too. So that way your kids not fucking sitting there, drowning in candy.
My mom and I, we actually participated in a trunk or treat. It was the church like right across from where we live,
Right.
and so we just decorated her car and whatnot, just like the basic Halloween decorations and everything. But a lot of the other cars, they went all out. Like they basically treated their cars like they were haunted houses.
Yeah.
One of the coolest ideas I saw was this one family had a Infinity War wheel spin
Nice.
to see if you got snapped or not.
That's
Oh,
cool.
there you go.
And so if you got snapped, then you would get like the bad candy and everything. But if you
But did they play the Fergie song if you got snapped?
no,
Oh snap!
oh thank God no. Good
Oh,
Lord!
snap.
No, actually that's a scary. That's a haunted house right there. Like playing
Fergie
Fergie
music.
and Gwen Stefani 24/7.
I actually am an award-winning trunk or treat creator.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I made like a little insane asylum in the back of ours.
Ooh, nice.
And I built like a jail setup.
Right.
And then I painted my daughter like a little ghost prisoner,
Oh, okay.
and she sat back there. And then I was like the guard. And we had like a little
Nice.
prisoner
That's
hanging
dope.
from the
Nice.
door, and it would talk.
Right.
And then when she was tired, I would just open the gate, let her out, and then I made like a dummy. And I
Oh,
put
okay.
him in there as like
Right.
the little stand-in,
Yeah.
and I had my smoke machine going, and I had black lights and all kinds of
Nice.
stuff. Yeah, dude,
That's kind of like
I love that stuff.
That almost sounds like a prison break type of idea right there.
Yeah.
Like have the
Fucked up.
dummy in there
Yes.
while you're like tunneling
You know,
out of
totally.
there. Yeah.
You know what's fucked up about my brain?
A lot of things.
First thing when he said, "Yeah, I built this cell," so yeah, because that's what people color should present to white people. So hey, look,
Dude,
we jail ourselves.
Hey,
The white people in my neighborhood loved it.
Hey, might as well just like live the gimmick.
Embrace it,
Hell yeah,
lean
dude.
into it.
Might as well, dude. Hey, I won some money off it. Why not?
Anyway, on that note, so go ahead and tell everybody one more time your social media and your YouTube channel.
Awesome. Yeah, everybody. Check out Edible Eds, _S on YouTube. Also, follow me on Instagram at edible.ed.cooks for a lot of real fun, good times.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and post that in the description too.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. So Jay, anything to close it out?
Let's see. R.I.P. Little Puppet. No.
It's Skittles, yo.
Yeah,
Skittles.
little Skittles.
No, not little Skittles, just Skittles.
Okay, little Skittles.
He goes,
Fun size.
why you gotta put little in front of it? He's not a SoundCloud rapper.
He's still little.
I bet you there's a SoundCloud rapper named Little Skittles.
Oh, I actually do have a SoundCloud app. I'll look that up. But anyway, but no,
I thought
like
you were gonna say you actually are a SoundCloud rapper.
it's me. I'm Little
I
Puppet.
thought you were going to say that you were.
What if I was a SoundCloud? Don't you see the face tattoos or anything?
The teardrops. Instead of teardrops, it's little Skittles.
Right? Taste the rainbow. But no, but like we said and everything, like for the folks for Halloween, stay safe when you're going to the parties, when you're going to the haunted houses, trick or treating. Stay safe, have fun, and watch out for laptop robbers.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, see now you got me
And
with
ghouls.
little Skittles in my head.
What's it? What?
Like a SoundCloud rapper named Little Skittles. He goes, I taste the rainbow, I got the flow, and everybody know I can grow. Little Skittles on the microphone.
No, it'd be more
I already got it. Look
so,
at that. I got it. Here you go.
No, if it was SoundCloud, it'd be like, that's the Skittles. Dude, it's that mumble shit.
No, mumble Skittles. We're like, we're going to Skittles.
Dude, I don't understand
Yeah,
that.
no, most of the SoundCloud rappers, they do that emo rap, they call it. Yeah. So it'd be, I got the flow.
Day
I
and
got
night.
the rainbow.
I got the Skittles with it in my mind.
We've just gone completely off the rails. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Remember, you can follow us on social media at The Minorities Report, and of course our backup on TikTok at The Minorities Report 2.0. Go ahead and drop us a message. Let us know anything that you want us to talk about, and we will see you.
Peace out.